I think we're on. Welcome, everybody. We're back, episode 21 of ZOOMCAST. I'm Matt Grima. Welcome aboard. And today's special guest, well, certainly needs no introduction. He's been on the ZOOMCAST before, one of the early episodes, and certainly one of the more listened to ZOOMCASTs that we've done. It's Marcus Chiminello from Marshall White. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, Matty. Great to be back. It's an honour to be invited back for the second time.
You are my first repeat guest, and I have to say you're looking splendid as we roll into another Marshall White Christmas party. Show us the get-up.
So the get-up is it's the full kit today. It's the the shorts and the shirt and a few matching outfits rolling around that my team are going to be wearing. So it actually simplifies the choice of outfit when you go to the Christmas party. I look at one of my colleagues, Daniel Wheeler, standing here in the office at the moment, and he's gone to town. He's had a lot of effort into his outfit today. This is no effort. This is just look stupid. I do it really well.
There's a bit of effort in the bicep region, which is sort of where the shirt's hugging that particular part of your get-up.
It's just genetics, mate.
But you look good. You look well. We had a little bit of a delay here. You weren't as well last week, so we had to push this one back a week. But you look like you're fit and firing and ready to enjoy a good day.
I am, mate. I bounced back. As I said last week, I thought I'd hit the wall. I thought I hit the point of exhaustion, given what this year has thrown at us.
Yeah.
A couple of days of sunshine and R&R, and mate, I feel like $1 million.
Good on you. Good on you. And you look it too, Chim. I called it the Grim and Chim show. I want to talk about the year that was, and then I want to fast forward and talk about the year that will be, and hopefully there won't be a lot of COVID-related stuff in 2022. Fingers crossed. Mate, it's been a whirlwind, and I know that sort of 1 year has almost morphed into two, really, with our friend COVID hanging around. And despite all the challenges that we've had, both personally, with family, people with children at home and homeschooling, I don't want to embarrass you here, mate, but I've got it on record that you have had your best ever year in real estate from a numbers perspective, and I know people can get caught up in the numbers. But, mate, what an accomplishment. I thought there'd be no better person to get back on ZOOMCAST and talk about the success you've had and how you've been able to navigate through the storm. How's it been for you?
But it's been quite incredible. I just can't get over looking back now and the reflection of the year, what we've been through, the limited time that we've been able to be productive in our industry, and then throw everything else into the mix, like homeschooling and lockdowns and limited social activity. It has been one of the most taxing years for anyone, irrespective of what industry they're in. And I feel for those in hospitality and those other areas that have been able to do nothing. At least we've been partially operational, then fully operational. But I look back now and go, genuinely, yes, it's been a record year for me. Do I want to do it again? No way. Not in these circumstances. In a normal year with balance and rhythm to the year, rather than continual interruption, by all means, bring it on. But it's been very taxing, that's for sure. Yeah.
Mate, you're a guy, and obviously I've got to know you over the journey at Marshall White. You absolutely love a challenge. And I reckon the mindset for a couple of people was different when you heard about another bloody lockdown coming in to play. And folks, I'll tell you, this isn't going to be a COVID Zoomcast, but it'd be remiss of us not to look back on the year that was and not mention some of the challenges we had. My understanding from you, and I was fortunate enough to see one of the emails that you sent your team when lockdown 6 was announced, and it looked like you were treating it as a bit of a personal challenge and then passing that on to your team. Can you talk me through that mindset?
I just, I always look at, I always challenge myself, irrespective of pandemics and lockdowns. I've always got something that I'm trying to either better myself in physically, mentally, a deadline date to work towards. It's the way I am. And when challenges get thrown up at you, and I think it's the way that you react to them will determine your success or failure based on that challenge. And I can't remember the exact context because some of that stuff just comes out of my head at the time going, you know what, it's in front of us now. Let's deal with it. This is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to do A, B, C, and D. These are the activities we're going to do. And we're going to come out the other side of this even better. And you know what, we're going to knock it out of the park. And that was that sort of context of the message that I sent through to the team, because it was, we could adapt, we could sit there and dwell, or we could absolutely thrive. And I think it's about having the how mindset. Like, oh, how do we navigate through this? How do we improve? Not just it's another lockdown, deal with it. I didn't accept it. I accepted that there was some limitations, but I also looked at how can we then do things differently that will allow us to operate?
Yeah.
Or if we can't operate, how do we set ourselves up when we come out the other side of this, that we've got instant momentum? We don't come back from as a standing start.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yep. And he managed to do it beautifully. Obviously, we were dealing with times of great uncertainty, and the only historical reference we had was the 2020 year and what typically would happen post a lockdown and how the market would bounce back incredibly strong, almost to the point of like nothing we've ever seen before type stuff. And then it would eventually sort of plateau, and still a very strong market, obviously, as we end the year. Talk me through. So obviously getting your team up and getting the energy levels to stay high in times of adversity. But what about communicating specifically with clients, be it sellers or buyers through that time? How did you go about keeping their energy and enthusiasm up for the deal purpose, if that makes sense?
I think we talk about mirroring, making sure you understand other people's energies and other people's circumstances. So there was not one size fits all. It was all about creating, customizing a really bespoke experience for everybody. And that the level of communication, the consistency of the communication, it all looked very different because everyone had their own challenges. Everyone's got their own war to win every single day. And some look vastly different. We've got clients who escaped Victoria and are blissfully unaware of what a lockdown is like. They're upbeat. Yeah, I will feed on that energy. They're looking, they're looking at me going, I really feel for you. Others, have got 5 kids under 10 at home. They're trying to educate them. They're trying to get their work done. They're trying to get bills paid. Their employment is uncertain. You need empathy. So, you've got to be, I remember there was a particular agent who's still in the marketplace today. He really shot onto the scene about 2002, 2003. And everyone said, where'd this guy come from? He had property management background in an established market. And everyone sort of referred to him. He's probably not like that today, but everyone said he's like a chameleon. He blends into his environment. And I think you've got to have that approach. You've got to blend to, you can't be one way. Well, it's certainly not a one size fit all. Yeah. It's not a one script fits all. You've got to be a human being, and you've also got to make sure that remember all the time, you've got 2 ears, you've got 1 mouth. Simple mathematics. Listen twice as much as you talk. And when you talk, probably ask questions more than making statements. There's a time and place for all those though. But I think that when I look at that, is being able to adapt to clients based on their circumstances is something that I do very well. And that helps me, as I said, make sure that you're matching their energy or you're matching their empathy and understanding what their needs are. So when the time comes, where their frame of mind is going to be, because you run like a bull at a gate at someone who's having a terrible time. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So the plan looked really different for everybody.
Yeah. So, mate, it sounds like from what you're telling me, it's almost the circumstance relating to the sale is almost more important than the piece of real estate you're selling or the price point that you're selling it at. Would that be fair?
That the end point that takes care of itself eventually.
Yeah.
Because we've got the skills, the capability to do that part.
Yeah.
But that lead in, that pre-work you do with someone, you can do it so incorrectly that you'll never get a chance to actually do the deal. So it's vitally important.
And specifically with your clients, and we are talking about the upper echelon of Melbourne real estate, make no mistake about it, but making professional recommendations to them in the environment where at times they didn't feel like there was any light at the end of the tunnel. How did you navigate through those moments? Like, I've no doubt, mate, you'd be getting calls from people that would be saying, Marcus, when's this going to end? Or do we pause our campaign? Do we take it off the market? Do we reset? Do we launch now? Do we wait? How do you go about giving advice in those situations?
You would have experienced this too. People viewed us as real estate agents as people that had absolute insights to what COVID was going to do, when lockdowns were going to finish. We had no idea. We had no idea. The needs and obviously the advice that these people required is exactly the same as any other vendor. You know, everyone had a view on what was going to happen, what was not going to happen. 10 people would give you 10 different opinions. It was a matter of understanding that, okay, someone's going to be right. We just didn't know who's right at the moment. It got back to, I think we became, well and truly humans instead of real estate agents during those lockdown periods, because we were in the same. We were in this, having the same experiences that these people were, with children at home, you know, homeschooling, trying to satisfy, you know, our clients, trying to make sure that we stay on top of our work. So it was an enormous challenge. And I think, once again, it's just understanding that basic human needs and the environment was pretty much the same for everybody.
Yeah.
So what they were wanting is, they don't get me wrong, a lot of people were wanting a little bit of a guiding light and going, well, this is what we think is going to occur. This year it was easier than last year. It was harder in many respects, but it was easier because it wasn't new. The uncertainty was removed. Yeah. What we were almost certain about was the predictability of the market. And a lot of that predictability almost become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because we're saying, guys, this is what happened. The buyers and sellers alike, this is what happened last lockdown. This is what happened after lockdown. We've got a predictable pattern here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so buyers are like, Jesus, okay, the market's going to take off. We've got to get in early. Vendors, we're to get on the market as soon as possible because we want to make sure we ride the wave.
Yeah.
So that predictability of looking back on last year really benefited 2021.
Yeah.
And I think, based on where we stand here, the 22nd of December, bear in mind, 3 weeks ago, I was going overseas in January.
Yeah.
I'm not going overseas anymore. And a lot of people going, we're not traveling in 2022. Uncertainty is upon us again.
Right.
So what does 2022 look like? Is it, you know, history is the greatest teacher? Is it going to be deja vu?
Yeah.
We don't know at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we'll always reference.
Hey, hold fire on 2022. We're going to the year that will be in a second. I'm still on the year that was. Take me back to January of this year. No doubt you would have set some goals and targets for yourself as you're quite driven in that realm. Did you sort of take into account the uncertainty of the COVID year when you were sort of quantifying what numbers you'd like to do and what performance your team would have? And then how did you go about keeping on track despite the uncertainty that surrounded us?
It's a really good question, mate, and it's something I'm really poor at. Andrew Hayne here pisses me for my numbers, my budgets, and all that sort of stuff. I'm going, yep, same as whatever I did last year, just do that. Yeah. I'm a really bad numbers person when it comes to, I think the best number is income, not GCI, not amount of deals, not amount of appraisals. I just do the work.
Yeah.
And that is, I know if I apply myself, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. So I don't sit there and go, all right, I'm going to write X amount of dollars per month. I'm going to do X amount of deals. I want to appraise that many properties. I just do what I know is required plus some.
Yeah.
If I take that approach, that ethos and that mindset to what I do, everything else looks after itself. And you know what? I think you asked me before, and I think someone else asked me again this morning, what do you know? What did you do? Record year, what did you do? I'm like, I genuinely couldn't sit here and say, this is what I did. We're on the 22nd of December. These are the numbers I did this year. People are telling me I've got record years and all those sorts of things, and it's evident, but I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah.
I know you're on an income perspective, and ultimately that's what matters the most out of all the other numbers.
Amazing. You have absolutely blown up a lot of the philosophy surrounding goal setting and targets and numbers and that sort of stuff. And I love hearing that, to be honest, because there is no one size fits all in this game. It sounds to me like you're saying, mate, I know in my heart of hearts that if I'm doing the work, if I'm doing the tasks that are going to lead to money generation for myself and my income and my team, then I know in my heart of hearts I've worked hard and I've had a bloody good year, and I can go to that Christmas party on the 22nd knowing that I feel really fulfilled with the effort and performance that I've put in. Does that sound about right?
No, 100%. And I think the only thing I really track is what I'm chasing or what deals I do want to get together this month. They are the absolutely most important numbers or measurement or tracking that I look at. Outside of that, I just don't. Sorry, I've got being interrupted here. Yes, buddy.
Why is that a man?
Yeah.
The same thing as you.
That's Nick. We're all wearing the same outfit today. And Big Jack, he'll be here in a minute. He's going to wear the same too. Okay. So I just got my son's here in the office. We're getting prepared for the Christmas party. Someone else has turned up. Can't believe it, wearing the same outfit as me. It's embarrassing.
When I talk about raw and uncut on Zoomcast, this is exactly what I mean. Marcus said to me earlier, mate, you'll edit some stuff out. I said, mate, I've got no idea how to do that. I hit record, I hit stop, but available, of course, on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. So you can follow.
Well, actually, now he likes to play a part in the Zoomcast. Because I do remember last time when we had I think it was an
All Stars.
All Stars.
That's right.
He was leaning out a second-story bedroom window while I was trying to have a. Yeah, that's right. I do remember. So he likes to have a bit of input into this.
He's always a part of it.
So, mate, I was just saying that. Yeah, all the things that I track. Yeah. Okay, I track the structure of my life. So in terms of my daily routine, I get up, I exercise, I do some work, I have a healthy breakfast, I have time with the kids, I do all that. That is all done every day before 8:30. That's the way I set myself up for a great day every day. And I think that's the only way that you can start a day. If you start a day slow and disrupted and then running late, that will just roll through the rest of your day and roll through your week. So I start my day positively because I know if I start it that way, I control the way my day starts. That's all. Yeah. And the rest is tracking. All right, who do I need to speak to? Who are the people that are going to be doing deals at the moment? Who are the people that are going to be listing? What do I need to sell? I focus on that, and I'm not huge on phone calls. Like I make like I'm on the phone all the time. I never track a phone call because I know if I'm not on the phone, I should be with a client. And if I'm not with a client, I should be looking through a property. So it's those three basic fundamentals. If I'm not doing one of those three things, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. But interesting. One point, James Tossman's massive on this with us. He always encouraged agents that he was training to always try and get through 3 to 5 properties that somebody else might be opening, not necessarily a Marshall White property during the week. And when I first started at Marshall White, I did that pretty religiously. I have to openly admit that in a COVID environment with private viewings and what have you, I haven't gotten through anywhere near the amount of property that you normally would. Is that something that you do? Do you go through other agents' opens and have a look at property, or is that not kosher in your world?
Yeah, I go through them after they haven't sold them to list them. That's when I go through. No, in all seriousness, I think what James does and actually implements into his who he trains, which he did with me. I used to do it religiously, and I think it was great, particularly in those formative embryonic years of real estate. Understanding the idiosyncrasies of different homes, different values, the way agents operate, their weaknesses, their strengths, meeting good people that you may want to work with and bring across to Marshall White. And seeing people, oh, geez, I saw the Joneses are out of that open for inspection. I wonder if they're considering that too. Looking at competing property, you speak with conviction with vendors about them, those sorts of things. So I think it's really important that, particularly in the formative years that you do, and if time permits, and I think it's the thing, if time permits, you got the opportunity of doing that, I think it's a very, very valuable tool.
Yeah. But I got one more on this year. Obviously, you've had a phenomenal year personally. You're a team leader. You're a director of the business. You've got some other responsibilities outside of just Marcus Chiminello Inc. as another fan walks into the office, I'm sure.
Mate, dressed the same as me. I can't believe it.
I'm sure they are. We should have put them on the screen, to be honest. Tell me, how do you go about making sure that the likes of Frenchie and Brooksy and Nickel and Stanley and Madge, they're up and about day in, day out, and that their performance, both on field and off field, are reflective of your own?
I would say I'm a pretty easy taskmaster when it comes to running a team. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Jack gave it to you. You know you've already got one.
Yeah, I know, but I can't find it. And why aren't you in there?
Why am I in there?
Why aren't?
Because I'm doing a Zoomcast calling the Grim and Chim Show with Matt Grima here.
Say to him, I have to go to the Jack's room.
Jack's room to have a drink. Yeah. That's a bit early for a drink, don't you think?
No.
We don't endorse drinking before midday on the Zoomcast here. Is that okay? All right. So,
hey.
Are you there?
Yep.
Good. Sorry, another interruption.
All good.
I can't remember what the question was now.
It was just about how do you lift the others around you in your team, and how do you keep an eye on their performance?
Oh,
their
sorry,
in relation to your own.
Look, I'll look at the team in general, the nucleus. I think I've probably got putting aside a couple of individuals along the journey, the best nucleus is a team in terms of the way that everyone gets along.
Yeah,
we are all, and it's not relying upon me to lead. I think we are all, and respectfully, we're all leaders of our own journey in the team. We're all there to support each other's outcomes, and whether it's Mandy or Madge that needs some support, or any other the sales team that needs support, we're all there for us. So I think it's the unity of the team. We're not a group of individuals in any way, shape, or form.
yeah.
And I think that what that does is relinquishes that greater responsibility that most team leaders may require to be cracking the whip, looking over the shoulder. And my philosophy is, and I've always, when I hire people, particularly on an administrative point of view, so guys, I don't care if you can go get your nails done and get your hair done and you're in the office for 3 hours. All I'm concerned about is the productivity, the output. And when I need things, they're done. Simple as that. What you do in between, if you can get 8 hours worth of work done in 3, great.
God bless you.
And correct. Use those other hours accordingly to, keep yourself, feeling good.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and shuffle paper. So, and that's the way I have always been, which allows them to think, okay, I'm not getting clock watched. No one's looking over my shoulder. They're independent. They know they are given a responsibility. They're not given a task, so They own it.
Right.
That is, I think, that having that frame of mind, that mindset when it comes to, particularly with those that aren't out there selling houses and getting the recognition of selling houses, that they are actually empowered to take their job with a level of responsibility, knowing that it has an impact on what we do. So as I think, I'm very relaxed when it comes to that. I don't have daily meetings. I don't have all of them wanting to make sure what they're doing every minute of the day. Get the job done. You know what I expect of you. If there are mistakes, okay, let's review. Why did the mistake happen? I don't think any of my team, unfortunately, none of them are in the room at the moment, so I can say this. I don't think I've never raised my voice. I've never said a bad word to anyone within my team, and I think they would vouch for that. Because you know what, we know when a mistake happens, it's happened. How do we fix it? Don't hide the mistake.
Yeah.
Let's get in front of it straight away. It was like this morning, I got T-boned. I'm driving in the office, bang, T-boned. Got out of the car, old lady in her probably 70s. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe what I've done. And I said, relax, it's fine. I said, you okay? Yeah, fine. Okay, great. You know what? It's just an inconvenience. We'll get it fixed. It's Christmas. Let's worry about it next year.
Yeah.
And it's same. Mistakes happen. And once again, it's how you react and how you deal with them.
Yeah. When you've got sort of 6 or 7 other cars, folks, you're probably not as concerned or worried about getting.
No, she wouldn't even give me one of her cars.
I was talking about you, very cheeky. Well, mate, nice to hear you. Well, I wasn't aware you got T-bone. That's unbelievable.
It was actually a very good client's mum.
A very good client's mum. There you go.
Can't believe it. Sorry, I've got to tell. Hey, Brooksy, Scalzo's mum T-boned me today on the way in the office. Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Correct.
Brooksy will be up and about, and his bicep region will be just as tight, if not tighter than yours at the moment, I reckon.
Well, Brooksy's enhanced it because he's actually rolled the sleeves up about 7 times, and he's actually got rubber bands at the top of his arms just to enhance the vascularity of his arms today.
Vascularity. There's a word we haven't heard on ZOOMCAST before. Vascularity. Hey, let's roll through to 2022. I don't want to keep you too long. I know that we've got some bigger fish to fry today, and I genuinely appreciate you jumping on, mate. I know you're busy and you've had a good year. I reckon the question on everybody's mind, Marcus, particularly as we move into a break period and we catch up with friends and family, it's going to be, what is your view on how the 2022 market will look? And I appreciate I'm asking you to crystal ball, and none of us have got one.
Yeah.
And none of us ever get this right often, by the way. But as an agent, obviously we've come off 2 really strong years, despite the inconsistency of lockdowns and what have you. How do you see the 2022 market starting next year?
If you'd asked me 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had a different view on things. I thought we were going to plateau, we'll have a far more balanced market. And look, we still might, as it is crystal ball. My views change as news comes to light. And I think uncertainty, once again, is building incredibly.
Yeah.
So I see that, okay, what were the determining factors to drive residential real estate prices and popularity over the past 2 years? It was people were, for the first 3 months of 2020, 4 months, 5 months, it was uncertainty. Okay, we're living with it And it puts people's living situations under the microscope. It puts people's recreation holidays under the microscope. What do we want? What do we want to achieve? Do we want a bigger house because we're working from home, we're educating from home, we're relaxing at home?
Yep.
We need more. We need more space. We're living in a small place. So you know what? Money's cheap. Great time to upgrade. So I think if uncertainty remains, particularly in Victoria, when we still could be locked down, and we're hearing murmurings now, and money is still staying at a relatively, and it will, affordable level, I can see the market continuing to strengthen. What will, I think, add a layer of depth to our market is if the international borders that are currently open stay open, particularly through the Asian corridor. That is probably our greatest influx of international buyers, where they're coming from. If that starts to increase next year, we could see the market absolutely take off again. But look, we're probably just as likely to have a massive correction. We know that is I think the one thing we know now is, given what we've been through the unbelievable, it'll never happen market pandemic. We never expected that, not in our wildest dreams. What's next?
Yeah,
we don't know. We're just going to take it as it comes, and as it adapt and deal with it when it does.
You're probably, and that's beautifully answered. You're probably going to say adapt and deal with it when it comes again. But we're talking about some big anchors that might come up that aren't necessarily COVID related, be it an election or a rate hike. And you do start to see buyers pause and just want more information on some of these topics, and before making a genuinely large buying decision. So you start to see some hesitation in their behavior, and then creating urgency when you're doing deals can be more of a challenge. And I know that you've worked through several markets where this has happened with buyer behavior as a result of one of these topics. How do you look to navigate through those situations?
The election's a good one. Sorry. Few things going on in my office. The election one never phases me, and I always tell clients never let them phase it. It was like it's like the Y2K bug. The anticipation of the Y2K bug, you're probably still too young to remember this.
No, I was 15, but yeah.
15. On 1st of January, at midnight, year 2000, the world was going to end. No one knew how to go from 99 or a 9 to a 2. Okay, the anticipation was worse than the actual result. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Elections are the same. Like, we have this anticipation of, oh my God, and what if they get in? What if they get in? What if Donald Trump became the president of the United States? Imagine what that would do to the world. Okay, we still continued on. Even if something as drastic as that occurred, and I remind people of that. It's the anticipation after the result on the Monday. Well, it's back to normal. Okay, the election's happened now. It doesn't matter who's in. It's the certainty of, all right, have we got this government in power or this government in power? Once it's done, it's done. People move on. And I remind buyers of that. I say, you know what? You've got more hesitation out there from other buyers. This is your opportunity to act. Yeah. Because people are going to wait till after the election. Nothing's going to change. We look at the past 3 federal elections. Let's look at some state elections. What changed after the election? Zero. It's still, Monday still came. The market still kept going. Opportunities were missed from buyers who hesitated. I always talk about that. And vendors exactly the same.
Yeah, got it, mate. Well said. Everyone talks about going bigger again. So when you get back to your desk in mid to late Jan or whenever you come back after a good holiday, everyone's immediate focus turns to more deals, greater fees, better advertising budgets, etc. What mindset do you recommend an agent walk into the office with when they start a new year of real estate?
Better.
Yep.
Nothing big is not always better. I just think coming back better. And that may be that you work on and focus on better properties. You might want a better business. You want better balance. So work out what better looks like. Bigger might be better for you as an agent, but I think better is the work that you build framework around when starting a new year. So look, if you're a glutton for consuming more material things, then you need to get bigger. And you want more, more. Yeah. But I've been down that path a lot of times, and I tell you what, bigger. I've had a bigger team and all those sorts of things. And it's not better.
Yeah.
It's not better. It's more work, more of everything. But often that more of everything will actually take you away from the things that you actually really value and spend time on. So you can't put more into the business without actually affecting something else in your life that you perhaps have more passion about. So I really say focus on better.
Yeah, yeah. That's so good. It's such a simple response, but it's bloody powerful. Just better. Mate, last one. A lot of people are going to swag in the Christmas party today, and they've come off record-breaking years for themselves or PBs in relation to what they've done from a GCI component. What about the agent that hasn't quite hit the heights? They've seen their colleagues do some incredibly good stuff, and they're sitting there going, I had a good year, but I didn't have a great year. I was probably one of those people that COVID got me a little bit, and I was a little bit flat during times I didn't quite give my best, or I might have eaten an extra block of chocolate at night. Insert self.
Wash down with the scotch.
Yeah, wash down with a few scotches, that's for sure. If you could grab them by the collar and say to he or she or they, mate, 2022 is going to be a good year. Here's what you need to do to make it successful. What would you say as a footy coach analogy?
Oh, I'd be saying, look, every day starts at zero, every week, every month, every year. So you're starting tomorrow exactly where everyone else is starting. So there's no one gets a head start. No one gets a head start. So it is entirely up to you. And I'm whenever I do sales training, I talk about success is your responsibility. It's got nothing to do with your past. It's got nothing to do with your colleagues. It's got nothing to do with your brand. If you're good enough, you can go to the heights of any, in terms of the heights of success in any business under any brand. If you're good enough, some brands will provide you leverage and probably a bit of a tailwind to get you there faster. I just say, apply yourself. Work out what it is you want. Okay. Do you want to work 6 days a week? Do you really want to make something yourself? Work 6 days, putting in, 70 to 80 hours a week. And, there's a bloody meme that goes around talking about, a dedicated 6 months in what you want to achieve, a true dedication, not I'd like to, but I will do. 6 months can take you 5 years in advancement in your career or in your life. I'm a prime product of that. I remember in that sort of 2007, 2008 transition when I said, stuff this, I want to become a really good agent. And I studied more, and I was doing a lot of Brian Tracy learning, a lot of the Brian Tracy Academy. I was learning a lot of that sort of stuff. And it was about salesmanship, and it was about goal setting, and it was about applying yourself and not wasting time and time management. So I did that. I really just applied myself really intensively. And I took off from being an agent that wrote 300, 400, 500 grand. I had a breakout year in 2007 and wrote 660. But that was probably the best year, bar the past 12 months, as we've ever seen in real estate. And then straight into a GFC, and then took off, and suddenly I wrote 1-1 and then 1-4 and then 1-6, and and then kept going and going for the past 12 years. But it was that 6 to 12 months that I really applied myself and changed all my disciplines and changed all my routines. I know I've waffled on, and I'm not going to tell this to 30 people today, but I'm sure I'll get asked 30 times. It's entirely up to you. Just go and do it. Like, don't think about it. Don't overplan it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. There are 4 or 5 basic things that you need to do as a real estate agent. We get bogged down in, as we do as human beings, in overcomplicating things, making a plan on how you're going to make a plan. Just do it. Have 3 or 4 tasks that you need to do. Go and do them and execute them better than anybody else consistently. The rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, no, it's a really good note to end on. Mate, you've been so generous with your time with me personally. A couple of ZOOMCasts. It's your 3rd appearance if you add in the All-Stars. Episode 4 was your first episode, which, as I said, is the most viewed episode we've had to date on ZOOMCAST. This episode, of course, available on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. So go and check it out, and you can have a look at some of the past episodes that we've done as well. Mate, I'll see you in the flesh in about an hour and a half.
Look forward to it
as we roll in, but I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me on again, mate.
Bye.
See you. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas.